Today, I will be taking third online lecture and second part of my lecture on direct retainers. Soon we will be shifting to Microsoft Teams from Google Classrooms. Most probably, my next lecture will be on Microsoft Teams. In my last lecture, I told you about the 6 properties of properly designed clasp. Therefore, the clasp should be designed and located to perform the specific functions of support, stabilization, reciprocation, and retention. They are classified in 2 basic categories. One is the circumferential clasp arm, which approaches the retentive undercut from an occlusal direction. The other is the bar clasp arm, which approaches the retentive undercut from a cervical direction. In this lecture, I will be explaining you the different types of circumferential clasps. A circumferential clasp assembly should consist of 4 component parts: retentive and non-retentive arm, 1 or more minor connectors, and the rest. A clasp arm that originates above the height of contour and approaches the tooth undercut from occlusal direction is called circumferential clasp or encircling clasp. Cast circumferential clasp was first proposed by Dr. Nabbit. Later, it was modified by Dr. Aker. It is simple and easy to construct and has excellent stabilizing properties. Cast circumferential clasps are less aesthetic as compared to bar type of clasp. They are less hygienic and are more difficult to adjust than wrought wire clasp. The clasp should arise from the main body of the clasp assembly above the height of contour. The retentive arm should extend cervically and circumferentially in an arcing manner. Here you can see this one. All the components of the clasp should be present above the height of contour except the retentive terminal, this one. The retentive terminus should always be directed towards the occlusal surface, never towards the gingiva. It should always terminate at the mesial or distal line angle, never at mid-facial or mid-lingual surface. The reciprocal arm, this one, should be placed above the height of contour opposite to the retentive arm. The retentive arm should be positioned as far apically on the abutment as is practical, not impinging the gingiva. The encircling clasps are indicated on tooth-supported partial dentures. There are different types of encircling clasps, which include simple circlet clasp, ring clasp, embrasure clasp, back action clasp, multiple clasp, half and half clasp, reverse action clasp, and onlay clasp. I will explain each one by one. The circumferential clasp is usually the most logical clasp to use with all tooth-supported partial dentures because it is easy to make and repair. It provides excellent support and have retentive and stabilizing ability. But the disadvantages of circumferential clasp arm are it covers more tooth surface as compared to bar clasp arm because of its occlusal origin. Its occlusal approach may increase the width of the occlusal surface of the tooth. In the mandibular arch, more metal may be displayed as compared to bar clasp arm. Its half-round form prevents adjustment to increase or decrease retention. Now, the first type of encircling clasp is simple circlet clasp. It is the basic form of the circumferential clasp. It has a buccal and lingual arm, originating from a common body. The correct form of this clasp has only one retentive clasp arm opposed by a non-retentive reciprocal arm on the opposite side with an occlusal rest. The advantages of simple circlet clasp are that it fulfills all basic design requirements of retention, support, stability, reciprocation, encirclement, and passivity. Its uncompleted design features make it easy to construct and is relatively simple to repair. The disadvantages of simple circlet clasp are that if it is used in distal extension base, then due to rotation of the clasp at fulcrum can cause damage to the abutment. It can also increase the circumference of teeth and lead to food accumulation and decalcification of abutment teeth. The second one is the ring clasp. Ring clasp encircles nearly all of a tooth from its point of origin. It is used when a proximal undercut, this one, cannot be approached by other means. The clasp should never be used as an unsupported ring because if it is free to open and close as a ring, it cannot provide reciprocation or stabilization. Instead, the ring type clasp should always be used with a supporting strut. These are the supporting struts. On the non-retentive side, with or without an auxiliary occlusal rest on the opposite marginal ridge. The supporting strut should be regarded as a minor connector from which the flexible retentive arm originates. The disadvantages of ring clasp are that it provides adequate encirclement, therefore have excellent retention with adequate flexibility due to increased length of clasp arm. So this was the advantage. The disadvantage include decalcification of teeth, increased occlusal table, and poor structure of clasp. Then we come to the Embrasure Clasp. It is also known as the Bonneville Clasp. It is indicated in unmodified class 2 or class 3 partial denture where no edentulous spaces are available on the opposite side of the arch to aid in clasping. Sufficient space must be provided between the abutment teeth in their occlusal third to make room for the common body of the embrasure clasp. Yet, the contact area should not be eliminated entirely. This is the contact area. The embrasure clasp should always be used with double occlusal rests, two retentive clasp arms, and two reciprocal clasp arms. This is done to avoid interproximal wedging by the prosthesis which could cause separation of the abutment teeth, resulting in food impaction and clasp displacement. In addition to providing support, occlusal rest also serve to shunt food away from the contact area. The disadvantage of embrasure clasp is that improper clearance can give rise to thin section of clasp leading to breakage. The back action clasp. The back action clasp is a modification of the ring clasp. It has all of the same disadvantages and no apparent advantages. Therefore, its use is difficult to justify. The multiple circlet clasp simply consists of two opposing circumferential clasps joined at the terminal end of the two reciprocal arms. It is used when additional retention and stabilization are needed or used in periodontally weakened teeth to splint them together. Disadvantage is that two embrasure approaches are necessary rather than a single common embrasure for both clasps. The half and half clasp consists of a circumferential retentive arm arising from one direction, retentive arm arising from one direction, and reciprocal arm arising from another. It is used only for unilateral free and saddle partial denture design. There is a little justification for its use. The reverse action or hairpin clasp is used when undercut is located at the facial disto angle adjacent to an edentulous space. This one. And soft tissue contour prevents the use of a bar type of clasp. It consists of a mesial occlusal rest, a horizontal reciprocal arm, and retentive arm, this one, engaging the distobuccal undercut. This is engaging the distobuccal undercut adjacent to the edentulous area. The advantage of the reverse action clasp is that it decreases the harmful stresses to the tooth. Whereas the disadvantages is that it is a weak clasp and has poor aesthetics if used in premolars or canines. Onlay clasp is indicated when the occlusal surface of the abutment lies apical to the occlusal plane. The occlusal surfaces of the abutments are covered with crowns from where the clasp arm arises. These are covered with crowns. It establishes the occlusal plane. It is indicated in caries-free individual. Thank you very much.